Now, we're going to get into a couple of things here. I wanted to talk about sort of playing by the old rules versus playing by the new rules. Now, where did I come up with this concept? If you've read my second book, which is Preventative Medicine, I get into this a little bit more. What is this? Sophia Rain lied about her age. She wasn't 18. Ooh, geez. How old was she? 12. So there's a chapter in my second book, Preventative Medicine, and it's about an individual named Thomas Ball. Thomas Ball set himself on fire back in 2014, I think, and he left a manifesto, a very long one too. He basically self-immolated is what he did. And the reason he did so was because he was making a point about like divorce laws and stuff. He did so on the courthouse steps, I think it was West Virginia somewhere, and set himself on fire as a political / social statement, and just to draw awareness. Guy was suicidal and despondent, let's just say. But he did so because he lost his custody battle for his kids. He was trying to get custody of his kids, or at least get some sort of visitation or whatever. And if you have the capability of setting yourself on fire, maybe you shouldn't be around kids in the first place. But it was kind of interesting because in his manifesto, he talked about how there was one set of rules that he thought everybody else was playing by. And if you follow those rules and you do those things, and if you go to school, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a good job, you do what you're a good boy, you do what you're told, you follow the trust the process, right? Or you go to the military, right? And if you do so, you will be rewarded with merit, with burden of performance. You'll be rewarded with money. You'll be rewarded with a stable, at least a semi-stable life, right? Now, obviously, you can build up past that and have some ambition and everything. But Thomas Ball wasn't an ambitious guy, and so he essentially went through the divorce machine and discovered that there was a second set of rules. And the second set of rules were what his wife was playing by and what the attorneys were playing by, and the divorce attorney and the child custody attorney. And now he was wondering, why am I being run up the flagpole? I'm doing all the right things. Why am I being punished for doing the right thing, for following the program? And the reason why is because he was playing by one old set of rules, and his ex-wife, his now widow wife, was playing by another set of rules. And I've always used that example to make a distinction between the red pill and the blue pill, to make a distinction of what you used to think was true and what you used to think was the process, and what you used to think was the right way to do it. I'm doing the right thing. I got a girl pregnant. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to stick around and I'm going to support her. I'm going to do the right fucking thing. And the problem is that as we became more connected, as we have more internet, as we have more access to information, as we have access to guys who are, maybe they're divorce coaches, maybe they're sharing their collective experience, they come to realize that there is a second set of rules. They thought they were playing by the rule set that everybody else was, and they're not. Now, that relates to divorce, but the rule books can apply to, and remember this, I hate to use allegory, I'm using metaphor. I know I shouldn't, because there's going to be some literalist spurg that's going to, say, that's not what you really mean. I know this is what I really mean. It's a metaphor for the fact that you think certain things should go this way. You'll be rewarded if you follow the Bible. You'll be rewarded if you do these things. You'll be rewarded, and you will please God or your mother or your wife or whatever it is if you follow this program. And increasingly, more and more guys are starting to question that. You want to know why guys are opting out of society? Why are guys leaving? Why are guys lonely? Why is 63% of guys single and 34% of women are attached, let's just say? Well, clearly it's because those women are going for older guys, but why are those guys single? Why are they dropping out? There's the expectations of women, there's all that, but there's a second set of rules that women are playing by that those guys are not. And men are just now becoming aware. I would not just now, certainly within the last 10, 20 years, are becoming aware of that second set of rules increasingly. Now, I said on this show, last show, I think, I said, you take me away, you take away Myron, you take away Mike, you take away Kyle, you take away everybody. You just basically erase the red pill tomorrow. And the second set of books versus the first set of books, that awareness is still gonna be there. You can demonetize my channel, YouTube. You can go and make it so it's not worthwhile for me to think that it's not worthwhile for me to do this, but you can't kill that idea. You can't kill that awareness. You can, the UK can make all of the anti-red pill manosphere, toxic masculinity classes they want to with ambiguous definitions of what the hell they're even talking about, but you can't kill the idea, and you can't kill that awareness without erasing the internet wholesale. You have to basically shove everybody's head in the sand, and you're not going to do that. The red pill is an idea whose time has come. And I mean that from intersexual dynamics and what I do. I don't mean that from a political, MAGA this or whatever. I mean from an intersexual dynamics perspective. The red pill is an idea whose time has come. Deal with it, because we're now having to deal with your bullshit. We're trying to untangle the fucking mess that you guys tangled. And so when people say, well, why do women do this or why are men dropping out? I was asked this by 2 women last week. One was Abigail Schreier. She's a journalist for the New York Times or New York something or other, right? She wanted to get, and I checked her out beforehand. Just don't relax. Ask me those questions. Why do you think that it's unfair, that what men are going through is unfair? I'm like, well, it doesn't matter whether they think it's fair. It's not. They have to deal with the new set of books. They have to deal with this new reality. They have to deal with this new paradigm, and they're still trying to figure it out. Same thing. By the way, I was on Jedediah Bila's show on Wednesday. It was recorded. It will be released on Tuesday. She assures me, Jed assures me.
That's nasty.
She assures me that it will be out on Tuesday. So if you want to watch me and Jed, I was on for an hour with Jed, so you can check that out. I'll be on Tuesday. So if you haven't subscribed to Jedediah Bila's channel, please do so now. She's the Joan Rivers of the manosphere.
That's nasty.
It's funny, as I was talking to her about that, I go, you know what? I kept your spirit alive by using that sound drop all the time, because she's still saying that's nasty. She still says that, right? Like that's her catchphrase right now. But anyways, those are the rule books. So the problem is that too many guys are still using that old set of rules when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to when it comes to men's expectations of women. Their rule set is still kind of mired in 20th century expectations. We're almost 25 years. Can you believe that? 25 years into the 21st century right now. And we're still trying to figure this shit out. I mentioned this on both occasions when I talked to Jed and I talked to Abigail. Is the reason why men are dropping out is because they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know what to do with the average woman. Average woman doesn't want the average man. So what do guys do? Well, they have to either become elites or they check out. Marriage is for elite men. According to women, it is. I didn't say it. This is according to women. You have to be richer. You have to be taller. You got to be more muscular. You got to be in better shape. You got to be, Myron has enumerated this a million times. You have to be more than she is. And if guys don't think they can be that, or if they don't want to be that, they check out. Simple as that. They're trying to. So when I hear somebody like Alex from Date Psych or Mac and Murphy or the rest of these guys talk about assortative mating, all I have to do is point to those stats. I can point to the stats that say 63% of guys are single and 34% of women are single. And so who are they fucking? Who are they in a relationship with? Right? Well, older guys, obviously. But the thing is the reason why why is it that there is 2/3 more men single than women? Because men are dropping out. They don't see any point. What's the juice is not worth the squeeze. There's your black pill quote today, right? At least that's what they think. I happen to think that's sort of a self-defeatist attitude. But you can either, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. You can either hate the game or you can play the game better. And most guys just simply don't see the point in playing the game any better. They're comfortable where they're at, whether it's pornography or their sedations or whatever it is. There's not much inspiration. There's not motivation. What's their motivation to do anything? The reason why, here's another great shining example of this. And I think I have. Yeah, I do. I'm just going to play this really quick because this is easier. This will help me. I'm going to defer. To where is it? Is this the one? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to defer to Andrew Wilson here to make my point for me, just to let you guys know.
I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector, and a provider. If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
Let me just bring up, do you notice, first of all, when he says, okay, these are all the things that you expect a man to do, a provider, a protector, you're home at night and somebody starts rattling at the door. You want the guy to be the one to protect that home. These are all, yes, these are expectations that traditional conservative women have of men. And in my view, it's correct to assume that. Yes, a man should be a provider. A man should be a protector. A man should be a masculine man. But you notice that when he turns around, and Andrew Wilson, I don't know a lot about Andrew Wilson and what he's saying about other topics. I have no idea. But in this clip, he's right. Because when he turns around and he says to Tomi Lahren, okay, so these are the things you expect of men. What can men expect rightfully of women? What are the duties that a woman should do? She immediately turns around, and there's a lot of defensiveness in what she's saying, but she says, well, I don't think, you should have to expect anything.
Because she doesn't know. Because this is a state of modern women. They don't have an answer, just like they don't have an answer for what states border on fucking Canada. They don't know. They're not prepared for that question. And when I watched this, and I'll let Jed finish out here in a second, but when I watched that question, that was like, you could hear a pin drop. Well, what do men get out of the deal? That's essentially what he was asking. And I know people can say what you want to about Andrew. I like Andrew well enough. I think he might have been a little out of his elements here, but still did very well. But the whole thing, when he asked that question, it was kind of like when I was on Dr. Phil, and I was presented with the question, what about, we got to fight for women's rights or something like that. And I go, what rights do women not have? And you could have heard a pin drop. And there was like 300, 400 people in that live studio fucking audience, and not one of them could say anything. And then, of course, they pop up with, well, what about the gender wage gap? I'm like, first of all, that's bullshit. And I explained, I was ready, man. I was on point. Because a lot of this stuff, what's funny is like a lot of people think that they're going to get you with, 77 cents on the dollar. Like, no, you're not going to get me, because I already know that that's nonsense. I even had Richard Reeves back me up on that too. But you could have heard the pin drop when I said, well, what rights do women not have? I can name lots of rights men do not have that women enjoy. The first one is selective services. Thank God we didn't get into that topic, because that would have run out the whole show clock on that one. But the thing is the reason, and I think Jed gets this too. The reason why Tomi Lahren couldn't, like, she was stammering and sputtering and, point and sputter is all she had. I don't think you're a real man. You notice they always say that? Mm-hmm. It's always a personal attack.
They demasculate you. Yeah,
when they don't know. God, can you imagine being married to that? That voice. She's Tom. There was I don't know if you guys remember, this was back in 2020. It was August of 2020. And this was before she married that baseball player, Tomi Lahren. And I did this breakdown of this YouTube screed that she did. She just took her phone, because it was 2020. So we're in the middle of COVID, right? It's August of 2020. And she's just unhinged. She's like, where's my man? I'm 28 years old. I'm not getting any younger. Blah, blah. And she was going through the epiphany phase, obviously. But she was not handling it well. And it was all men's fault that she couldn't find a guy to marry her at 28 years old. Now, of course, she did later on that year with the baseball player guy that she's with right now. But she was just losing it. And so I went and I just broke it down, like, just issue by issue by issue. And that was actually the first time Dr. Phil actually called me to see if I would go on the show. They wanted to pit me against her, and I'm like, I'll do it for some money. They didn't want to pay for shit. I had to pay, they wanted me to pay for my own airfare to go down there. Yeah, I was like, I'm good, man. Thanks. Because they just wanted blood sport. And then when they wanted me the second time, I said yes, but they did at least pay for my flight and my stay, my hotel stay, which is more than I could say for fucking valuetainment. Anyways, let's let her.
Well, why not? Why should men not have to expect anything, but women get to expect that a man is a provider, that a man is a protector? These are expectations that you're setting on men. You're saying, I want a masculine man. I want him to fulfill these roles. Okay, then let's be fair. And let's say, well, then what can a man expect of you? And she's saying, well, nothing. What do you mean?
Yep. Yeah. Shit. And the part that Jed doesn't talk about here, and probably just an oversight. I don't think she just ignored it. The part is that it's not even an afterthought to women like Tomi Lahren. Well, you get this pussy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You get pussy. Okay, well, but I'm not supposed to sexually objectifize you, right? You like in her other Screed video, she was all upset that like older guys who she wanted to marry were all interested in the quote unquote Thotianas, right? The thoughts, right? Younger thoughts, younger, better, ratchet girls than she was. She's ratchet. So Tomi Lahren is ratchet. I don't think people really realize she's just ratchet in a different way. But the thing that gets me is she's completely oblivious to it. Well, of course there's nothing for you. Don't you know that? Like, it's supposed to be self-evident. Of course there's nothing for you. That's the second set of fucking rules. You have Andrew Wilson saying, well, like asking the questions, like, hey, what's in it for us? Because it used to be that was settled under the old set of rules in the 20th century and the 20th century solutions to the 21st century problems. In the 20th century, that was what he said. They knew what they were getting. I'm getting a chick who's going to be a mother to my kids. She's going to be nurturing. She's going to be loving. She's going to be insightful. She's going to take care of the home, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could run down a laundry list of things that was worthwhile, right? Now you don't get that. Now it's not even like, I can't, like, women like Tomi Lahren are offended that you would expect that. Like there would be anything. And that's why she's like at a loss to even say what could possibly be, to balance that equation, other than pussy, because that's the only thing I can presume she's saying is worthwhile. Okay, well, you better be the best fucking lay I've ever had, because I can go pay for that too. Right? I mean, it is Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, and I would say that if that's all there is, again, I said it's not even an afterthought to Tomi Lahren, because she's operating from a different set of rules than whether he knows it or not, than Andrew Wilson is. So what are you going to do about it? That's my next question. My next question is like, what are you going to do about the old set of rules versus the new set of rules? And I think guys do themselves a disservice when they cling to that old set of rules. You're going to set yourself on fire. I mean, ultimately, because you want the old set of rules to work and you want those to be a solution to 21st century problems. I'm not saying Tomi Lahren or women like her are in any way worth your time, but by order of degree, women are using a different set of rules. So you're going to have to modify either your expectations or have to modify your techniques or your tactics, or you're going to have to fucking find some way to accept the reality that people are not playing by the same set of rules. And you like most guys think that they can force that chick to play by the old set of rules. No, they don't have to. They don't have to do that anymore. And they're not going to do it. In fact, it's not even an afterthought for them to think of trying to go back in time unless they're destitute. I saw this, what was it? Oh, it was on Twitter. Somebody threw this out there. It was this woman who is making bread or something like that. This modern chick who's making bread, or she's making food in a bowl of some sorts. And it said, let me see if I can find it. It was actually a pretty good one. And it wasn't too long ago. Let's see if I can find this for you guys. Here it is. Okay. So, in fact, I'll show it to you. This is too good not to show you. My screen. Here we go. All right, here it is. Got it. Shout out to all the ladies out there who went and got a 4-year degree, tried the boss babe life, and realized all they wanted was to stay at home, grow a garden, and cook from scratch because same, right? This is the most pretentious bullshit I've ever seen, right? Because really what it is it's a repudiation of the new set of rules for this fantasized, idealized, idyllic, kind of fucking pastoral lifestyle. We're going to live on a ranch and I'm going to churn butter and I'm going to be, live in the Amish Dutch country of Pennsylvania. No, you're not. And the other thing is that the most ironic thing, of course, I posted this was like, shout out to all the women who are, what did I say? Shout out to all the women who are now $120,000 in school debt, trying to find a guy rich enough to help them repay it after they realized all of this. I'm sure that's not going to go. That's not going to fly very well. Gosh, I got 20,000 views on that. There's my Elon bucks for the week.
My girl gave me insight on it because at least girls talking about it, not hoeing around during your early age and sticking to a guy, picking your horse, right? Mm-hmm. Doing that thing. They're just called pick-me's and disregarded from like all the women's spaces. And it's just the dudes following.
Yeah.
And the occasional girl.
Yeah. Well, and then the problem is now that you realize this and you're $20,000 or $120,000 in debt, which is average, by the way, to get your 4-year degree, to be a boss babe and do all this stuff. And then to realize that that's really what you wanted. You got to remember, to get out of that and to achieve that lifestyle, you got to find a dude who has the money to do so and to help you repay that debt, because you're starting at a deficit. And I'm going to go full Aaron Clary on you right now. But again, that's old set of rules versus new set of rules. New set of rules, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to incur a lot of student debt. I'm going to be a boss bitch. And I'm going to find out that this life really isn't for me. I want to play by the old set of rules. And I'll tell you, the thing that gets me is guys are going to buy this. They're going to suck it down and eat it up like fucking Oreo cookies, man. Oh yeah, she's really like that. You want to know why Nala Fit got the benefit of the doubt from Michael Knowles? Because of exactly that dynamic. Why did, what's her name? Eva Lovia. Why do these like aging porn stars who want to get out of the business, we go, oh, yes, finally, she's found Jesus. No, she hasn't. She realizes she can't be in that business anymore. She realizes she wants to change this. Now she wants to be a podcaster. Now she wants to be whatever it is. Oh, but she's getting out. We should applaud her for that. Okay, fine. But the thing is she wants to go from the new set of rules back to the old set of rules. Well, that we should be happy about that. Yeah, we should, but we shouldn't have to bear the fucking responsibility for bailing her ass out of it. So until she's out there talking about like, oh, we need to warn women for, to be more wholesome and whatever else, which is never going to happen because no woman is going to listen to that, especially when they see the kind of money they can make off of being unwholesome, right? Off of being on Instagram, off of showing their ass on Instagram. Even the most marginal, most like, even the most, lightweight form of sexualizing yourself is still going to be seen as some sort of deviance.